Okay, class, we're going to be starting a new chapter today. Exciting, isn't it?
Brother, this guy stinks!
Today, we're going to be observing how the digestive system works and how the food we eat fuels our body. Nothing like learning about chemical reactions in bile right before lunch.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Don't. She'll turn that into a lesson, too.
Let me just pull up the PowerPoint.
Miss Frizzle, can we not take notes today? I mean, it's so boring. Let's do something fun, like rat dissection.
Well, all right. Everyone put their computers away. We're taking a little field trip down to the cafeteria. Okay, see this car? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shrink down with the help of technology. Snuggle into some poor soul's meal and explore the digestive system from the inside out.
Is this grounds for getting fired?
I don't know. There's nothing in the handbook that says being ingested is a crime.
Okay, who should we explore?
Rosie.
Huh?
The first stop of the digestive system is the mouth. The mouth is one of the openings into the body, and it houses the tongue, the teeth, and the salivary glands.
Watch out for the teeth.
They're huge.
We're all gonna die.
You asked for an exciting lesson. Here it is. The mouth is the first place in the digestive system in which food is broken down. The function is to chew and break down the food so that it can fit in the small opening of the esophagus. It also plays a role in swallowing.
It's just so wet in here.
That's your salivary glands at work. The salivary glands secrete saliva, which helps moisten the food to break it down to fit down the esophagus.
The esophagus. What's that?
This is the esophagus. The esophagus is a long tube made up of tissues and muscles found in the mediastinum, a part of the pectoral area. It is found right behind the trachea and in front of the spine.
It's moving. The walls are moving us down.
The esophagus carries chewed food from the mouth down to the stomach, but it can't get there with just the help of gravity. So the muscles that make out the outside walls of the esophagus move the food down through contractions.
Wait, the stomach? We're going to be digested?
I'll never see the light of day again.
Don't worry, this bus has protective walls thanks to technology. The stomach is an organ in the upper abdominal cavity that is made up of muscle tissue. What you see on the inside of us is the mucosa, which secretes the acid and enzymes that you see around us. All of these layers allow for the stomach to turn to break down the food.
Why are we moving so much?
Well, the stomach can move involuntarily. This helps churn up our food and helps to break it down. Here is where we see a similar breakdown in the rest of the digestive system, but it's a chemical reaction.
Where to next?
The small intestine is located in the lower abdominal cavity underneath the stomach. It's essentially just a jumbled up tube of tissue and muscle cells surrounded by the large intestine. The inner layer is the same as the stomach, the mucosa.
Let me guess. It breaks down the food.
Partially. The small intestine breaks down the food and absorbs the nutrients left in it. It does this by taking juices from other organs, such as the liver and the pancreas, and breaking down the food.
Juices? Like bile?
Yep. Bile breaks down the food. The small intestine also begins to absorb the water out of the food.
So where to now?
Well, first we have to make a little pit stop. To understand what breaks down the food, we have to stop at the liver. That bile that I mentioned before, this is where it's made, in the liver. This is an organ in the abdominal cavity, but it can also be called a gland.
Weird.
The liver is split into two different lobes, but those lobes are split into thousands more lobes. These lobes oversee different tasks, but the main one is to create and secrete bile.
What exactly does the bile do?
The bile breaks down the fats in our foods in the small intestine and carries the waste into the small intestine.
Wait, how does the bile get to the small intestine?
Next stop. The pancreas is a gland posterior to the stomach. It is separated into the head, the large part, then moves down to the neck, and then the body, and then the tail. The pancreas is like the highway for the bile from the liver into the small intestine.
So the liver makes bile, then goes to the pancreas?
Well, there's the gallbladder in between, but basically,
So the pancreas makes insulin, right?
yeah, it also makes glucagon.
Now can we go to the large intestine? So what exactly does the large intestine do? Like, no rush or anything, but like, it's kind of gross in here.
The large intestine is connected into the small intestine at the cecum in the lower abdominal cavity and the pelvic cavity. It's kind of like box-like in shape, and it's made up of muscle and tissues. The mucus lining lubricates the food as it moves along the large intestine.
If I hear mucus one more time, I'm going to puke.
The large intestine is the last step of nutrient absorption before expelling the waste. It dehydrates the food even more and creates stools by absorbing the water and electrolytes that are in the food. The bacteria located in the colon, another name for large intestine, breaks down the food even more.
Is that it?
Yeah, we'll head it back up into the stomach, and then once Rosie opens her mouth, we'll just exit her body. The car has rocket boosters that'll help eject us out with the help of...
We get it!
Thanks for letting us explore your digestive system, Rosie. Was that adventurous enough for you? Are you sure?
I would have rather dissected a rat.